Hello, everybody. It's Deanna, and welcome to your Akashic Records reading for March 27th, 2024 to April 2nd, 2024. And I am Deanna, and I teach spiritually gifted and highly sensitive people how to take their power back in these times of dynamic change. And I also read the Akashic Records, which is truly my passion in this life. So tonight I'm going to do several things. For those of you that saw the in the feed earlier, I'm going to be talking about angels and spiritual security. How can you know in these crazy times that we actually do have the ability to connect to our angels and guides, to connect to these beings, and that these beings actually exist and that they're taking care of us. And speaking of which, hang on one sec. So many technical things in the studio to take care of all at once. And I lost one of my internet connections. But anyway, so it is. Different monitors, two internet connections. What's next? All right. So it seems like no matter which internet connection I get on, they're telling me it's low internet. Okay, let's get on. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about angels, security. How do we know that we have spiritual security, and how can you strengthen that? Thank you for the thumbs up. And we're going to do an Akashic Records reading for the week. We're going to look at what's coming up for this week and different sections of it, so you can be mentally, emotionally prepared as we walk forward. So if you have any questions, please put them down here in the feed. To my Facebook viewers here, I know a lot of you come on later. Feel free to comment down in the comments below if you come on later. I do attempt to get back to all of them. I will be at For Heaven's Sake Book tomorrow in Denver, Colorado. It's only one day this week live. And if you go to For Heaven's Sake Book and you click on, I believe it is practitioners, they now have a new online booking system that is absolutely 100% amazing. It's easy to find us. It's easy to look at videos about what we do and select the person that's right for you. And it makes it so much easier. You can do it right there from the comfort of your own home. So welcome aboard, everybody. Looks like I have a couple of viewers over here on my regular Facebook page. Ooh, lots of folks gathering. Hi, Chelsea, Bella. Let's see here, over here on Instagram. And then I don't see anybody checking in over here on Facebook yet. Okay, so let's get talking about spiritual sense of security. So many of you have written to me and you've asked me, you're like, how do I know that, I'm being protected, guided, or shielded during these times? Can I get a thumbs up or a show of hands of how many people out there don't know if their spiritual guides are protecting them, are, helping them? Are you doubting? Are you doubting that spirit, God, source, angels, and guides really exist? Because this is the time to test yourself on that as we move forward into these dynamic times of change. That's going to become more and more and more important. Where's your spiritual guidance? And sorry, like I said, I lost one of my internet connections a little bit earlier, and I'm going to attempt to get that back on board here. Like I said, I'm desiring to have someone come and help me when I'm doing these live in studio lives, because it would be a lot easier, but right at the moment that is not in my cards. And yes, I heard one of you being funny. I should trust my angels to bring somebody. You're so funny. Okay, let's see if I can get Facebook back up online. Okay, so what I was thinking about when somebody asked me the other day, how do I know if my angels are with me? How do I even know who they are? And sometimes you can go and see one of our readers who does more of the angel readings and find out, is it Gabriel, Michael, Uriel, who is working with you. And other times it's not really important to know their names. It's important to know that they're there for you. And so how does that work? How does that show up in your life? All right. So your angels and your guides are always with you. You are never alone, ever, 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 ever. and you can block them out. I worked with a young lady today who her crown chakra, our crown chakra is open and we can feel or sense spiritual beings, usually through the crown chakra and the third eye. And her crown chakra was off kilter. So she couldn't feel that connection. She couldn't feel that divine love. Now, did that mean that her spirit guides were gone? Absolutely not. Her spirit guides were absolutely there for her 100%. Period. Her angels were there for her, but she couldn't feel them, sense them, or know them because she couldn't feel them, because she had cut herself off from spirit or source. So I'm sorry. If you're watching me on my normal Facebook page and I don't respond to you, it's because that monitor has gone out. The internet's not working on it. So we'll just stick to these two. Okay, sorry, a little discombobulated tonight. So here's what happened to me. So there was a while when I was struggling, and even in my own spirituality, and I wasn't sure if guardian angels were real. Were they there? Did they help? And how did I know? And I thought about that today when I came on to tell you all about how do you know. Well, all of you will have a story after this one, I'm sure, where you've experienced something and you're like, oh yeah, I can relate to that. So what happened is back when my daughter was first born, I was unfortunately driving a beater car, one that just just didn't run very well. And it ran most of the time, but there were problems with it, and that was okay when I was single, and I didn't have a child. But after I had a child and I just had a pregnancy, for those of you women that have been through that, your body's still recovering, it's still tired, and you're not in your best fighting shape, so to speak. And I was driving in between two towns, and there was a road, wasn't dirt, but it was a county road, and it was between point A and point B, and there was nothing really out there, no gas stations, no houses, just open fields. And so I heard a very strange sound as I'm driving, and then my steering wheel started to shake. And for those of you that drive, that's a tire that's gone flat, and I could hear it going thud, 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 thud. And my daughter was about 8 months old, and I really didn't have my physical health back yet, so I was tired, exhausted, and here I am sitting there on the side of the road wondering what I'm going to do. Well, yeah, I had a cell phone, but you got to wait for a tow truck, you got to wait for, this or that, and that can be a little intimidating because, again, you're not, in that space where you feel secure about your own self and your physical nature. And so, I prayed about it and I said, Spirit, please send me some help because I'm afraid. I have a young child to protect now. And believe it or not, about that moment, I'm sitting in my car and it's cold outside, windows rolled up, can still run the motor, keeping things warm. And behind me is pulling up, over on the shoulder of the road where I was, a white van, a very unmarked white van. And then in its windshield, it's kind of dark, so you couldn't see, but like from here down on the people. And I'm thinking, great, somebody's gonna come pick me up. And what happened was the man came up and he tapped on my window and he said, "Do you have a spare tire?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And I was just scared out of my mind that I said, Spirit has probably sent this person to me. And so I said, "Okay." And I got out, a little scared, and I opened up my trunk and I said, "There's a spare tire." And he took out the tire and the jack and whatever else he needed. And then the scariest part happened. Two more large men, 6 foot, really built guys got out of the van. And I'm thinking to myself, I know I'm in trouble now. There's no way I could fight them all off if I had to. Well, what happened was they came and got the tools and they jacked up my car, changed my tire, put the spare one back and the jacks and everything back. And it seemed like record time. I felt like I was at an Indianapolis 500. And when they got done, the two big guys that hadn't spoken a word to me, no facial expressions, got back in their van. And the nice older man came up to me and he says, "Have a great day." And I said, "How can I repay you?" And he said, "You owe me nothing. Have a great day." And as he started to drive off, Not only was the white van unmarked, there was no business on it, there was no advertisement on it, and it just so happened that the license plate on the back of the car was missing. Ta-da! So, that's how I know that my angels are with me. That's how I can be assured of my spiritual protection, because I don't know who that man was. Could have been an angel manifesting itself as a person. Could have been an angel that moved. If you ever heard a high pitched whine in your ear, with an angel telling you something, could have been an angel moving to have compassion on me. I have no idea. I was grateful. And I gave thanks and I praised and I gave joy and sent blessings to that man and the two other men that I had no idea who they were. So if you'd like to have a sense of spiritual security, think back about moments in your life when something happened for you that you just was like, wow, that came out of nowhere, went so smoothly, and it was done. Because that is spirit source or the angels moving to keep you in a certain place at a certain time. If you have any stories you'd like to share, you can either put them in the feed or private message me, because I would love to hear them and have you share them with me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the cards ready for the Akashic Record reading for the week. And then I'm going to share some more ways that you can know how you have spiritual security. And tonight, I wanted to say hello to one of the new followers on Instagram, Armando. I believe you pronounce your name Budon Jr. And thank you so much for following me. I noticed that you had become one of my followers, and would like to connect. Looks like you have a lot of wonderful things in your own practice there. All right. So again, I'm sorry to the people on my regular Facebook page. If you have a comment, go ahead and put it on there. After I get through the broadcast, I'll go through and review it. I have 2 different internets, so I have enough power to run all of these lives at the same time. And one of them went bye-bye. No accounting for the internet. All right. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them down. I'm going to look and see what I have so far. Okay, Stephanie, very good idea. She says she used to feel close and connected to her spirit guides. In the last 9 months, she's felt disconnected. Okay, Stephanie, it is super important that that you check in with yourself to see how you're feeling. Because the young woman, I told you that her chakras were kind of off today. It's because she was depressed, had a lot of anxiety, and felt like that basically nobody loved her. She had so much going on in her life, and she just felt like she couldn't keep up with the pace. So if you are like Stephanie, check yourself and see where you are. What's going on for you right now? What's happening in your life? Because when we have that feeling of overwhelm or stressed out or too much anxiety, we will often feel disconnected from our guides. And Stephanie, if you need any help with that, I'm more than happy to have a private one-to-one session. I'll be at the bookstore on Thursday at 303-964-9339. That's tomorrow. And if you can't wait to book, or you want to make sure you get a spot, go ahead and go to forheavensake.com. And I believe it's the practitioners. They've got up a brand new way to book, or any of the practitioners. You don't even have to guess Denver anymore, or Applewood, and you can pick your time slot and how much time you'd like to have. So that is so much easier to do. All right, let's do this Akashic Records reading, and then for the week, and then I'm going to show you some more ways to help you feel close to your guides. Okay, looks like I have a question over here. Mama Jakeem, welcome aboard. She says, I've had angels protect me many times. Woohoo! You go, girl. And Mo, nice to see you. Bella, good to see you. Again, hello, Chelsea. I'm so glad you joined us tonight. And Mama Jakeem says, much strife with 2 brothers in my family, years long disconnected. Any advice or insight? Okay, Jackie, I'm going to actually invite you to a one-to-one session, because I have the same thing come up. There must be a lot of sibling stuff going on right now. I had the same thing today with a couple of people that I worked with, where they just feel so disconnected um, from their family right now, and it just must be a thing. And so we set up some ways for them to be able to get back in touch. Let's see here. With just to get back in touch with their family or to draw some boundaries. Just a moment here. Let's see here. Here we go. Trying to get things going on here. I'm telling you, tonight is, it must be after that full moon or getting ready for the eclipse, and just don't have my normal gumption today. Wouldn't have anything to do with, I started my day this morning at 7:30 a.m. and I'm still going. But it's like that sometimes. Okay. And then Stephanie, I sent you a big hug. There's no emoji for that apparently, so I sent you a big hug. All right. Laura, hi to you. Welcome aboard. And Kaylee, hi to you. Nice to see you too. Okay. So we're looking at what's coming up, and the Akashic Records is a record of the vibrational frequencies, and I go into the collective consciousness, and I see, you know, what direction everybody's headed. That's how I'm reading the Akashic Records going in the future, because by our thoughts, we begin to create our futures, and collectively the same way, so I can connect into that. So very interesting. The first couple of days, this is going to be like tomorrow, Friday, part into Saturday. I've got the Chariot, number 7. The Chariot. So that definitely feels like what I've been going through. How many of you feel like you have been racing into your future? How many of you feel like you're going 90 to nothing and you feel like you can't stop anything? And you're like, whoa, 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 I'm trying to go slower and I can't. And you just feel like you're full speed ahead. And the Chariot came upright. So look for the next few days to go very quickly, things to develop quickly. It was, let's see here. Mama Jakim was talking about her, you know, her 2 brothers and being distant. So that, just look for those relationships to change very quickly. Make sure you stay on the positive side of things. You know, if things blow up, I don't feel like it's going to blow up, but there'll be a lot of questions. So make sure you're centered and balanced and grounded. All right, this is awesome. We have all women tonight in our Akashic Records reading. Woohoo! The Empress. Okay, that's what's going to go on about Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, it's the Empress. And as you can see, she's holding the wheat, you know, and the Bible talks about separating the wheat and the shaft, which means the wheat is what you want to eat, you know, if you're not gluten intolerant, and the shaft is the leftover part. So basically, you're going to see, feel, sense, or know some things along about Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are going to pull away from you. Things you don't need, emotions you don't desire, maybe relationships that have been tough, and things are going to pull away from you. Please don't lean into them and try to pull them back. Let it go. Let it go. Because if something's being pulled away from you, there's generally a reason, and you'll find the reason pretty soon. So again, stay centered, grounded, let the energy do its dance, just watch it, be an observer, see what happens. All right, the next one was upside down. So this is going to be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's the Page of Air. Beautiful wings there. And it came upside down. So that's what that tells me is by the end of the week before I see you again, which will be Thursday, you're going to feel a little up in the air and maybe like you're spiraling downward. So identify what that energy is, what's making you not feel good, what is causing you so much stress that your physical body is hurting, or you're overeating, or you're not getting enough exercise. I know that's triggery, sorry. You know, what's causing you to feel like you don't have enough money? What's causing you to feel like your relationship isn't going the way you want? So that'll hit about, my guides say, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's what your forecast or your upcoming week looks like for your Akashic Records reading for the week. And I'll take a few questions if anybody has any questions over here. Looks like I'm gonna have. Sometimes I don't get very many folks watching, and then later they come and I get hundreds of watches, and then they ask me questions later. So I will try to check back in the feed here and see if there's any more questions. Okay, and hi, Laura, good to see you. Kaylee, good to see you. Stephanie, hi, Stephanie. Oh, Stephanie says lots of emotions have been coming up. Absolutely. Um, yeah, so if you're processing emotion, let yourself feel the feels, journal, take some time out for you, hot saltwater bath or something like that, because the shifts that we're going through now energetically and astrologically are getting us ready for our next stage. So it's trying to shake off all the poop, basically. Let's see here. Okay, so Laura says, when you say that chakras are off by a certain number of degrees, what do you see? What does that mean? Oh, Laura, you are so awesome. Thank you for asking the question. A lot of times when I'm doing sessions, I balance people's toroidal field. A toroidal field is your chakras, okay, Laura? So if you put your arms straight out and you turn in a circle, that's your personal energy space. That's where your chakras extend to average. Some people's a little bit further, but that's about the average. And so your toroidal field or your chakra energy field surrounds you, Laura. And camera's too small over here, but it surrounds you. And so your crown chakra, if you've never seen the human energy field, you can look it up, you can Google it, but it looks like you're inside of a giant donut, and the energy comes down on the top of your head, goes down through your spinal column, comes out of your privates, underneath your feet, circles back up, and comes in the top of your head. So it's like breathing, right? Some people's goes the other way, depends on if you're grounded or you're more spiritual. And some people, I've seen once or twice, theirs goes both ways simultaneously. Amazing. So when somebody doesn't feel connected to spirit, depression, anxiety, overwhelm, grief, processing grief, they kind of go like this. And so in their chakra, instead of being like this, will tilt to one side, kind of like a wilted flower. I have seen some peoples that do this, so it's like somebody trying to pinch off a hose before they're watering, or moving the water. And so, Laura, what that means is your chakra is off. It's off balance. I just used the word off. I'm so glad you're asking me this. And lots of people probably want to know and never thought to ask, but it's off. And so if you think about it, your crown chakra is connected to everything else. It looks like a waterfall, basically. And when it's off kilter, it can be off by so many degrees. So if your average chakra opens up to the top like this, and then it's not balanced, so it's trying to cut off receiving, like when you hold your breath, okay, then it's trying to cut it off. And so if it's here, that's a 90-degree angle. And then as it goes down, it's so many degrees. And like here, would be the 0. So this would be about 30 degrees off. So Laura, I greatly appreciate your question. Nobody's really asked me that before, but that's what that means. And so what I see is usually more what I feel. So when I say heal, harmonize, and balance the vector equilibrium, the 64 related pathways in the torus. So I'm actually balancing the person sitting in front of me when I'm doing their session. I am balancing that energy field, that human energy field. And if I could pop over on the internet, I would show it to you, but I can't do that from these cameras. And so that's what I'm doing. So I'm not actually seeing it, I'm feeling it with my hand, and I can feel it being off by so many degrees. So you're welcome, Laura. I hope that answers your question. And so I feel those things, and then I sense, based on what chakra is off, what's going on in the person's physical and emotional body. So I've told people their upper and lower GI feels off because the frequency is off because it's not full. Anyway, I hope that helps. And someone else who's watched this, and I'll get my hair all. Anyway, if somebody else watching this can say, hey, yeah, that was great information. But you're welcome, Laura. All right, Kaylee, good to see you. I'm enjoying having you on board tonight. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to discuss with you very quickly, I feel like discuss isn't the right word, but it's kind of where it's at. And I am sorry about the internet seeming off tonight. I'm not sure what's going on with them. But anyway, so I hope you learned some more about connecting with your angels and just knowing that they're there, when you're asking for help and something shows up very quickly. And then also, if you're feeling you're not connecting, that's usually an anxiety, depression, energy, grieving. And if you come and see me, we can shift that frequency and open that back up for you again so that you can grab onto it basically. And you don't have to suffer that fate or feel disconnected. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so if you're needing some help as far as connecting and communicating goes and feeling protected, feeling shielded, feeling loved, some people really enjoy having something in their hands. They like tactile. They like to hold on to something. So I wanted to show you some things that you can easily pick up at For Heaven's Sake book tomorrow. One of the things that I've done to feel more connected to spirit is I've used crystal, clear quartz crystal. And clear quartz does have an energetic property to it because guess what they put in cables? Guess what they use in the old style quartz watches? That's why they called it a quartz watch, because they put quartz in it because it's a conductor of energy. And so this big, huge, I don't know, clump or whatever, I don't know very good words for these, cluster, I guess that would be. And you can see all the beautiful pieces in here in this cluster. Just absolutely gorgeous. And so years ago, I dealt with a lot of anxiety and depression. And so this was a cluster that was given to me as a gift. And so I would turn it so that this little point on my nightstand would point up and over me when I was sleeping. And I would charge it with pure source energy and allow that to come out. And I really felt so much better and I slept so much better. And then I would put it in the window during the full moon to let it recharge itself. And also remembering that it came from the ground. So occasionally I would bury it, usually in a pot of soil so I didn't lose track of it. And sometimes I wash it in salt water. It just depends on what it needs to restore and refresh itself. But it's an absolutely gorgeous piece. You can find a cluster just like this at For Heaven's Sake Books. If you live, on the East Coast, and you're like, gee, Deanna, I can't get by the store. My Learjet's in the shop. Well, then, just get online and order it. It's pretty easy and they'll ship it to you. No problem. And if you have problems, call 303-964-9339. Okay, and my name is Deanna, so if you want to book with me and get your chakras cleared up or see what your messages are, let me know. Let's see if we have any more questions. Okay, it looks like I have a couple more minutes. No more questions. Okay, you all are really quiet tonight. Either that or my internet's not showing me the feed. Oh, okay, I got hearts. Okay, so I know you're out there. What about my Facebook peeps? Thumbs up, smiles, angry faces, something? Okay, I know, it's a lot going on. Okay, so the other thing that I have worked with in the past that a lot of people feel really helps them, especially if you have what we like to call attention deficit disorder. Okay, these are beads. I think they're meditation beads. Okay, these are just meditation beads. I bought them down at the bookstore. This particular set is about $9. And so what I do is I come up with a statement. And whatever that statement is, I will hold a bead because it's tactile, stimulates the brain, and helps me feel better because I'm touching it, I'm speaking it out, and I feel the vibration. So I will say something like, I bless myself with pure source energy. I bless myself with pure love and light. Next bead. I bless myself with pure source energy. I bless myself with pure love and light. Next bead. Okay? It's just a tool to get you, to focus. And I find it quite handy. Like I said, you can get one down at the bookstore. They have some in different colors as well. I know the Denver location has them. because I see them all the time. They're beautiful. Some of them are brown. This one's just more opaque looking, so you can get that. One of the other things I got, I don't remember the name of this stone because it's been like probably 15 years since I purchased it, but it's the one that's supposed to attract angels to you or help you to have angel communication. They have some lovely clerks at a store, associates who know lots more about stones than I do. That's their area of expertise. So just ask them, what stone that's blue and white will help me connect to angels and my divine source. So when I bought it years ago, I liked the back of it because it's rough, like a geode rough cut. And I put it in my hand like this, right? And I would hold it and I would pray because it helped me to focus. Oh, I'm getting some hearts. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the hearts. And when it helped me focus on feeling better. And again, it's tactile, it's touch. Okay, so if you need that to remind yourself. So now I have it sitting on a shelf in my office in a little card holder, and it leans up and I see it all day, and it reminds me I am loved. It reminds me my angels love me and help keep me safe. So if there's any questions over here on the Facebook Live, I don't know if you all are watching me and have it on mute. I don't know, but let me know if you have any questions because I'd love to help you during these times. It's so important that you connect with your divine self, that you open your heart to spirit or source, and that you take time out for yourself and love yourself. It's just super, super important. I can't tell you how much that means. If you have a topic that you would like for me to talk about, make sure you let me know. If you're over here on Instagram, private message me. If you're over here on Facebook, call the store and say, hey, give this message to Deanna. You can message it, but it goes into a group of messages that the store looks at, and sometimes I don't always get them, but just call them up at 303-964-9339, or if you make a session appointment at FOR heavensake.com, then what happens is if you set an appointment with me, even a half hour, you can put a little note in there, hey, I want to tell you what I wanted you to talk about. So lots of things to learn, lots of things to know, and I will be in Denver tomorrow if you want to come by and say hi, and um, just let me know how things are going in your life. So that's it for tonight. Big hugs and kisses to everybody. I will be back here next Wednesday night, hopefully a little earlier.